You know how bad it's going to be, right? If you have to go to Opebi Island or Awolowo Way and go past that mall, it's not going to be nice. So to me, go back to the freeway and go north. Where you just came from. Yeah, you just came from Ojota. I saw that, right? Yeah. So how was the traffic on the other side?
The other side is bad. Somehow bad.
It's bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's free. Like going is tight.
Going north is tight.
As we're going now, it's tight.
Coming is bad.
It's good. The coming here is free.
It's free. Okay, then go Opebi Island. Go back to that light. Make a left and another left. Now you're going to hit somebody because you didn't move. Watch it.
All right, so John, as you were saying,
yeah,
right, you said that one of the reasons why you stayed in Nigeria is because there's more black ownership here. Because what I've noticed traveling throughout Africa, outside of maybe Senegal, but either Lebanese, Indians, whites, the Africa that the media doesn't show you on TV, as they say.
Turn that fan up.
Is owned.
Fan. Give us some more air. It's kind of hot.
Is owned by non-Africans. So that Africa.
No. Oh, come on now. You're a pro driver. You're asking me. Go left or go straight. Either one.
That's the norm. The pro drivers don't know. Yeah, whatever.
He knows.
But
how long you been driving for Taxify?
Taxify. It's just like 6 months.
6 months. Do you live in Lagos?
Yeah.
Do you have no excuse?
Yeah. So
we be JJC Mugu, eh? Where you going in GRA to go to Shangisha, Magodo, huh? All right.
Yeah. So the Africa the media doesn't show you on TV is owned and controlled by non-Africans. But are you saying that's different here in Lagos or Nigeria?
Well, you still have a lot of foreign elements in here in partnerships.
Right.
For example, Hub Mart we just left. Three young Lagosians started that one.
Black folks.
Right. Not too long ago.
Right.
And it's taken off and they've done a good job. They're not quite millennials, but they're like early 40s now. They started in their 30s, so that's good. Whereas you have Spar, which is mostly Indian owned and run.
Spar, the restaurant.
Spar, S-P-A-R.
And SPU or SPU.
That's a South African franchise based on American Indian something.
All right.
No, I'm talking about Spar Supermarket.
Okay.
Formerly, what was they call it? Park and Shop, I think it was before, and they rebranded it, I think. Then you have ShopRite, which is a South African franchise.
Right.
Now, Spar and that one are the two top supermarket chains now in the country, by far. 10 years ago, neither one of them were here. Okay? But now you've got the Hub Marts. In Abuja, there's something called Cherries. A guy that he was a pharmacist, he's now going into the supermarket. So the indigenous have figured out that, and then you can see some of the more selective supermarkets. Because, Nigerians are well-traveled and they know what quality is. So they're being more selective about what they do have. Now, the mall we were in earlier, ShopRite, City Mall Ikeja in Alausa. Most of those franchises you see are not Nigerian.
Right, no. I know Mango, I think, is European or maybe South African.
Spanish,
right, European.
And then there's the Japanese, Chinese shop that's got discounted stuff. Then you've got iStore, which is, technically Apple Store, which is a channel I'm involved with, but they're out of South Africa now. Then you've got the little, what is it called, Max, and the other electronics shop. And even the management of the mall is South African, Brawl, B-R-O-L-L. It's all South African. And I think that mall is now technically controlled, I don't know about owned, but controlled by South Africans. If they can own it, they will. But I understand it was on state land. That was supposed to be for public use. That's another thing. There's a case involved. So, if the indigenous decided to do anything here, rather than sit back and look at their bank accounts and collect interest, if they decided to do something and have their own brands, or have their own shops using foreign brands even. You know, you're the middleman technically. It's unendless. I mean, you're servicing 180 to 200 million people now. If you're supplying the basic needs, you can't lose. Food, clothing, shelter, you know, anything along that, basic appliances, basic gadgets. No matter what, you have to have that to survive anywhere or be in the economy. Now, if you don't have a bank account and you live out in rural Nigeria or anywhere in Africa where you're eating fruit off the trees, you're planting your own farms, you don't even have to have clothes. You know, there's not much of that going on anymore. But if you're participating in the economy, you're going to have a cell phone, if not a smartphone, a bank account. And with that alone, you can make money if you know what you're doing.
Right.
And you're dealing, primarily if you're here, you're a black person dealing with a black market of the biggest black market in the world.
Right.
Not black market in the sense of black market.
Now, yeah, illegal, but black market as in black folks.
Yes. Yes. It used to be, okay, when I first came, say, oh, you're dealing with the top 2, 3, 4% of the population. All those people have money. But see, all those people, they fly to Dubai in Europe or wherever to buy what they want and come back in. They're that tight that they don't even go to the local malls. But now some of those people are being wise and setting up small malls and small shops. And realizing when they go elsewhere, they see it done and come back and do it. Okay, that's an improvement.
So should and consider, because a lot of people don't think about this aspect of relocating to Africa. Should black ownership in Africa be considered when relocating to a certain African country? Because like I said, I noticed, especially like Kenya, Tanzania, of course South Africa, that, you know, a lot of the businesses, the major core businesses, were not black owned.
Correct.
Should that be a factor when relocating to an African country?
Well, yeah. As I said in the first interview, it depends on what you're doing. What are you trying to do? You know, when I mentioned, are you coming over here to do mining? Are you coming over here to build roads? Are you coming over here to just sell the same old consumer goods that the West makes? Are you coming over here to try to manufacture your own product locally and sell locally and or internationally for that matter, due to whatever logistics? Are you trying to do bed and breakfast like in Ghana? If that's what you want to do, okay, go to Accra. It's a ready-made market for that purpose. And you can lease out primarily to just African Americans for that matter. You know, let them over there where you live in Dallas or Houston or New York or Kansas City or Oakland or Atlanta or wherever, New Orleans, wherever you're from, you just start marketing yourself to the neighbors to your own bed and breakfast. Is that the economy you're talking about? Are we talking about building a bridge of the darker skinned race? What are we really trying to do here? Keeping in mind that the Global 2000 report under Zbigniew Brzezinski was designed to keep us apart from each other.
Right.
You know, they said we got to stop these African Americans and Africans communicating with each other. Okay, why? Why did you have that Congress Act, you know, that supposedly the Black Caucus was pushing? What was the name of it? Where it's kind of in the fine print, it really isn't an advantage for either side, so to speak. It's like you have to have majority American-made product, and you come over here and use quote-unquote slave labor, and then import it back, or vice versa. I never got to the bottom of it, but it didn't really favor us. You know?
Of course it is.
So,
no, go ahead. I was going to ask you one last
question.
question.
The beauty about Nigeria now, or West Africa, is you have direct flights to the States.
Right.
More than you've had like 10 years ago.
Atlanta, New York, and maybe DC. I'm not sure, but I know for sure Atlanta and New York.
I last flew through Houston on United Stroke Continental. I don't think they're flying that right now.
You might, because there might be a direct flight from Houston. I don't know. I know for sure Atlanta and New York.
No, United's not in here now.
Okay.
Delta is.
Delta's in their airplane.
Ethiopian flies through here, stops in Accra and goes to Newark. And or maybe DC soon. Baltimore. But anyway, there's a lot more flights coming back in. Gone are the Pan Am days, of course. Up until 1986, they were flying in here from JFK. So, we know the future is Africa.
Right.
The Chinese know it, the Europeans know it, the Americans know it. Who's actually going to participate in that process? Is it going to be us?
I wish it was.
Or them?
I wish it was us, but some of us are just,
Yeah. Is it going to be us or them? Now, the few of us that are in a position to really bridge the gap, are we even doing that? Now, you got some entertainers that are going back and forth.
Yeah, but that's for their own,
that's their niche.
Business purposes, the entertainers.
Yeah. So, are we building a bridge or a new stream of economic enrichment for quote unquote us? And I see often the Nigerians, what they do is say, oh, go get an exclusive with one of the European companies. It can be whoever. And then come in here and sell or maybe fleece your own population, how they think. Rather than come up with a manufacturing or a product or whatever, and it'd be yours. Why market somebody else's product? Why market Samsung, or LG, or even Apple or whoever? Do your own, man.
Right.
Kroger's is not going to come here. McDonald's is not going to come here. But do your own. Doesn't have to be McDonald's.
It could be McDowell's.
Yeah.
Like coming to America. McDowell's.
Yeah. You don't have to go get a franchise. Start one. That's the beauty about here. You got 180 million people to sell to. In the U.S., there's only, 47 million of us?
Let's say 50, 45, 50 range.
But you've got 4 times that here.
Right.
Ready-made. And they're pretty exposed. Everybody here that's in the economy has a
cell phone.
A phone.
Right. And a TV.
And the ones that can have a smartphone and have satellite television. They know what's going on in the world. If they don't, their cousin is already somewhere and they say, hey man, bring me back 10 or 100 or 200 or 1,000 of those things. They're going like hotcakes. And they're on excuse me. I caught a Hamilton cold up in Abuja during the sports festival. So it's out of me, but it's in my chest.
Let me ask you this last question. Yeah. Are you done with your statement?
For that statement,
okay.
At the moment.
Ghana, the year of return, next year, 2019. So they're putting forth this big. Have you heard of it?
No.
Oh, so Ghana's putting. I wish I would have asked you in the previous video. Year of return. So they're putting together this big initiative, welcoming back the Black diaspora. They're supposed to, I guess, change the visa requirements. They're supposed to make it easier to do business in Ghana if you're a Black American or a part of the Black diaspora.
Do business.
And also too, they're making it easier.
What about the passport?
And they're supposed to be making it easier to get nationality, because that right of abode was crap. Yeah, it's bullshit. So what are your thoughts on the...
You said it.
It's bull. Yeah, right of abode was
bullshit. Crap bullshit.
Yeah, because the thing is, because this is the thing, a lot of people talk repatriation. A lot of people talk repatriation, but then I'm like, do you have a passport from the country you've repatriated to? No. Okay. So then, you just live there.
Right of abode. You can get that anywhere under another name. You can go to the Caribbean and you can buy a piece of property, pay some taxes. Okay, you have the right to abode on your land, right?
Right.
What is right of abode? What does that mean?
Right to live.
Oh, okay. If you have money, you can live anywhere. Literally.
Right.
Right? But
True.
do you have the right to be and to determine your future? Can we vote? Can we run for president? Or Speaker of the House or Parliament? Do you really want us to come back and participate? Now, I already sacrificed almost 30 years, but it's not time for semantics and fine print and feel good anymore. We've passed that. And I just want to see the passport application upon entry.
Right.
You don't even have to put a sign up. Just say, here, stamp you in. Oh, how long you want to stay? A week, a month, 5 months, 9 months, or a year? Fine. Only a week? No, here's a passport application. And it's up to you to determine. I think I said this before, right?
Right.
Yeah. Fill it out, turn it in, and by the time you're leaving or you come back to the office, check on it. "Oh, what's my status? Okay, we're going to issue your passport. Oh, yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. Now you got to go back and deal with your dual citizenship or whatever. Why should we give up our blue passport that we've sacrificed and still going through hell on right now?
We shouldn't give it up.
You know, give us an advantage to come to.
But then the argument is, you know, pretty much black Americans, you want to come to Africa, you know, and some will say we don't need black Americans over here, we'll be just fine.
Okay, well, we won't come to that place that says that. You're doing okay without us. But remember, we helped you bring the Union Jack and the French flags and the others down.
Hey, see, and that's the issue. They don't teach that. A lot of people will ignore that and not bring that up, how we helped South Africa in apartheid.
Oh, big time.
But a lot of people are like, oh, no, you guys didn't really play a role. You guys just yelled and just protested for it. That didn't mean anything.
It was pressure.
Exactly, it was pressure.
You know, Pete Botha?
Right.
He had to decide, does he give it up politically to the international bankers or to the blacks? And it looks like the bankers won out, but blacks have the political vote control. But who has the economic control of South Africa?
Right now, the whites. They're trying to change it, but right now it's the whites, Europeans.
Oh, yeah, De Beers, Anglo-American, the Harvard Trust Fund,
Right.
Yale, Oxford, Royal Dutch, you know. Who really controls? I understand South Africa, there was a female South African minister, black short-haired woman, and she wanted to push making sure all the mining licensing was done. And there was a lady for De Beers, I think, or Anglo-American, one of them, saying, no, we should not nationalize the mines. And the lady, African National Congress minister said, no, you never bought this land. You don't own it. It's always been owned by our people. Yeah, the government is the curator, and yes, you're going to do a bid and then pay for the lease to mine what you've been possessing for 100 or 200 or whatever years. And they said, no, you can't nationalize it. That's bad to nationalize the mines. Who owns it? You know, it reminds me of Christopher Columbus and the others, right?
Right.
Who owns this land? Oh, we do. Really? Okay, show me the papers. Papers? You mean my great-grandfather was here and there, and my great-great-great-great whatever, chief so-and-so, Sky Cloud, whatever. Oh, okay, fine, just show us the papers. Like there's a courthouse sitting on the corner.
Right.
In the Cherokee Nation, or the Apache Nation, or the Dakota Nation, or the Navajo Nation, or whatever. The Delaware, the Ohio, the Nebraska, the Michigan, the Iowans, okay. Same thing here. The chief's here. Oh, show us the papers. Don't show us the papers? Take us to your leader.
Right.
Take us leader? Okay, take us to your leader. We'll take care of that one. So, it's the same plan, isn't it? Same institutions behind it all. Those who want to control the resources of the planet for their own. Now, these cell phones that we're using, 3 metals at least come from
Congo.
Africa.
Congo.
Yeah. Or somewhere in Africa, primarily Congo for now. It's being cut up by leases, not, you know, it's still Congo, but yeah, right. If you do a space shot, it takes 5 metals from Africa to go up in the atmosphere, right?
Right.
Or beyond it. If you want to do nuclear power, you got to come get uranium and most of it from here, with a few exceptions around the planet, but the higher quality is here. And we were talking earlier, the best bitumen in the world is here in southern Nigeria, between Benin and the edge of Lagos State. Highest quality, up somewhere between 27 to 40% pure in the ground. Did I mention this on camera?
You did we're at
already.
At Mark, yeah.
I mean,
At Mark.
studying geology, petroleum engineering, tech, it's always been in the back of my mind that, you know, when the Portuguese came to Benin Empire at its height 500 years ago, whatever, 1440s, the so-called roads in what's now the ancient city of Benin were as wide and as clean as the best roads of Amsterdam,
Right.
were the best in Europe. And now we have the best bitumen to build the best roads, but we're just not quite doing it. You know, the Germans, the British, the French, and I forget who else. They all came here in the 1930s, and they found this bitumen belt. And it was so pure, you know, what they wanted to do was take it out, take it to Europe, refine it, and then sell it back to the colony. But it was so much better in the ground than what they can do with it up there. They just capped off the wells and left. And then Nigeria got pushed for independence. Just like they didn't really find the oil coming until, 1956, when they decided to hand it over, take the Union Jack down in 1960. There's still somewhere between 38 to 50 untouched, undeveloped metals here, or solid minerals, as they say, in the ground. It's one of my calls.
Well, let me
You want to stop it for a second?
Hey, we'll worry. We were talking about the roads.
The bitumen.
Bitumen, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I was saying there's almost 50 untouched resources, solid minerals alone in Nigeria. And the foreign powers, they know this. They don't want us to develop it. They would rather us commit internal genocide.
Yeah.
And to me, the strife that's coming is induced from outside, working with some greedy locals.
Of course, yeah.
I can't prove it.
That's usually the case.
But I've been here long enough to
believe
feel
it.
it.
I mean, that's usually the case.
And it doesn't make any sense. Like this so-called Boko Haram stuff. You talk about being Nigeria didn't have that, man.
Right.
When we first started hearing these things, I said, that's not Nigerian. No, what my Nigerian might be is someone comes in and wants to blow the place up and say, oh, okay, I'll do it for you. And they'll take the money and then not blow you up. Now, that's Nigerian. But actually come and strap a bomb on themselves and blow themselves up, that's not Nigerian. No. You understand?
Right.
That's why I said, no, this stuff is foreign. They'll do some dirty work for you, but they're not going to die for you.
Right.
That's just how I feel. You know,
you need to take that.
That's not Nigerian. Committing suicide? No.
You need to take that?
I got this, yeah.
Okay.